Okay, so I think we are going. So this video is hopefully a quick video where I show you how I use YNAB to budget and track my PTO, which stands for paid time off. So in my case, all of my vacation days, sick time, personal days, all of those are lumped into one category. For PTO, I don't get separate sick days. That is state mandated in my state. So I kind of need to make sure that I'm paying attention to what I have for PTO available. And so this, I'll show you kind of how I do that in YNAB. So the first thing that I did in YNAB is I created a new budget, as you can see here, and I pretty much split it up into two categories. I put the paid holidays because these are things that I want to track just so that I'm aware and I can see them all in one glance, because it will help me when I plan out my sick days or my PTO days down below. But here you can have them. Here you can see what they are. Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day are the 2020 paid holidays. And then I get New Year's Eve, or I get New Year's Day, but that's in 2021. So, and then as these days come and pass, I like to just mark them with a check mark that, hey, that happened. But I don't budget anything in this category, as you can see, because I don't need to take PTO for these. These are paid holidays no matter what. So then I created a second category group. I titled it PTO, and then I put 120 hours, which is the maximum PTO that I will get this year. It's not the max PTO for the entire year. I think the max PTO for the entire year is like 140 or 160 hours. But since I came on like after the first quarter of the year was over, I didn't get those first hours. So what I do with this is anytime I think, oh, I might want to take that day off, I will just create a category for it. So here you can see some of the things I have. Day after election, which is November 4th, so that's the day after the presidential election. And then I decided to also maybe budget for November 5th and 6th, so I could take that whole rest of the week off. This is when I was talking with some of my friends about maybe going to Nashville, and this was back in March when COVID had just first started, so we didn't really we were so naive then. We didn't know we weren't going to be able to go to Nashville probably for at least another year. But I did put that in there at the time. And you can see I put how many hours it would be. It worked out to 3 days, and then when or where, 6. So this is just a general bank where I make sure to stick some hours or a day into, so that if any day I wake up feeling sick, I don't need to worry about, oh, can I take this day off? Will it mess up any of my other PTO days that I want to take in the future? I always make sure I have at least 8 to 16 hours in there. And whenever I do wake up sick, I can just take that day. Then I put in for my mom's birthday, maybe I'll take that day off. My nephew's birthday, maybe I'll take that day off. I don't have to take any of these days off. It's just as ideas come to me, I put them in there. Here I've said Christmas, but it's not actually Christmas Day. It's December 23rd, so I'm budgeting for that. New Year's Eve to see if I want to take that day off. Me time, this is just a generic kind of personal day. Maybe I have some errands I need to run or doctor's appointments. I can just put that in there. And then I created this 2020 rollover, and that's just because any hours that I don't use this year, I'll just like stick them into 2020 or 2021, so I don't start 2021 with no hours at all, and then have to, wait to build up hours in 2021. And then this is a category where, again, we were thinking about maybe going to one of my friend's house for kind of a sleepover weekend and doing some boating, but as you can see, it's not happening, so I just moved that down here. And then HOCO 2021 is my college's homecoming or alumni weekend. So once you kind of come up with ideas for days that you're going to want to take off, put them all in there. And you can add to this list or, delete from this list or hide from the list as time goes on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here, you're going to add an account unlinked and title it, PTO balance. So for me, how my PTO works is I get 13.35 hours a month. So I created a scheduled transaction on the first of every month to repeat, where this monthly PTO will just be inflowed to be budgeted. And then, which is what you see up here, I have $13.35 budgeted, and this is from my September PTO bank. And so then I just go in and I budget for it. So that has already been taken care of. I know I already put in, search for check. I already put in my request for these days as well, so I'm going to mark that. I still have 24 hours budgeted for Nashville, but at this point, this will probably not happen until 2021, so I can either decide to move those hours if I need to or keep them in there, and I think for now I'm going to keep them in there. I have $8 8 hours budgeted for sick time. I did request for my mom's day off, my mom's birthday's day off, so I'm going to put 8 hours in there. And then I put in the request and it's been approved, so I'll go ahead and mark that, and then I'll show you how to enter the transaction for that. And then I have $5.35 left. I don't believe I'm going to be taking my nephew's birthday off, so not happening. Again, you can decide to hide this category. I'm just going to put not happening, drag it down, and so maybe I can think about it in 2021. And you can see I have $275 budgeted in this December 23rd category, and that is, I put that in last month, so let me just see, 8 minus 275, here we go, 525, and now I have 0.10 hours left to budget, so we will just put that in there. So that's how I budget out my hours, and then flipping back to my account balance, let me go ahead and approve this. Whenever I put a request into my work for those hours for a day off, I will enter this in as a transaction as an outflow. So here you can see I put in for the day after the election. This was approved in June. It's an outflow of 8 hours. I do that the moment it's approved, and I don't wait until the day of or the month of, because that way this gives me the running balance of what my actual PTO balance is. Because at my job, I can see what my balance is up to that effective date. So for instance, on September 3rd, my PTO balance at my job is let me take out any outflows, is this 80.10 hours, because it doesn't take into account future dated PTO transactions. So my actual balance that I actually have, how many hours I've left to take off this year, is 48.10. It's everything after the hours that I've already put in. So there you can see that's my, November 4th date. Here was the day that I put in for my mom's birthday, and then here were the 16 hours that I put in for November 5th and 6th. So 48.10 hours is really what I have left to work with in the budget, and those are all budgeted towards these categories. Total available 48.10. So that's the real reason I use this, is because my PTO balance that I can see is based on, how much PTO I have available as of today, and it doesn't take into account future dated events. So depending on whatever your, HR or payroll system, however they set things up or whatever system they use. You might not need to do this. You might just be able to look into your system and see the number perfectly as it makes sense to you. But for me, I definitely like to have this on me. I can pull it up in the mobile app on YNAB and just look at it really quickly to see, oh, can I take, sometimes, not really so much this year, but, sometimes my friend might say, hey, like, do you want to do something on, 2 months from now? And it's like, okay, well, let me see what PTO I have available that I could move around or how much I'll be getting next month, and let me see if I can work it out. So I think that's really great. And the other thing is, if, for instance, you see here I have 8 hours in sick time, if I actually end up taking 2 days, if I'm sick for 2 days, that means I would need to move money around. Or I keep saying money, I would need to move hours around from other categories. So, oh, you know what I just realized? I already did that transaction for my mom, so I don't need to budget 8 more hours this month. I can go ahead and put that towards New Year's Eve, which still leaves me with 0.10 hours. So I guess I'll just put that 0.10 in me time. Perfect. And then and actually I think this is a good idea, and I'll do it on camera because obviously that just confused me. I can just say PTO approved and move these dates that have been approved out of that category so that I don't get confused. And I'll just move that down there. So I hope this, you found it helpful. Maybe if it's not helpful, at least it was interesting. And the thing that you want to do when you create your account is, you have your budget name. Currency can be US dollars, but just for the currency placement, say don't display symbol. And that's how since I don't have like the currency symbol, I just consider these as hours. And it's going to like restart, but it was all the same. So I hope you guys found this helpful, interesting. Let me know down below, do you guys need to track how many hours you have for PTO? I think you can use this too, for instance, if you have a vacation pool of hours and then you're in a state or a country that gives you sick time and you want to track how much sick time you're accruing and using, you could add that as a separate account and say specifically sick time. And you could track that, and as those hours come in, you can put that all into sick time, into the sick time category, or I know lots of times you can use sick time to care for family members who are sick, so maybe you track it like that as well. So there's a lot that you can do with YNAB besides just tracking your normal budget if you're interested in it. So hope you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and let me know down below, what's your PTO procedures or I guess life like. And I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and you have a good day.